there is this really fine balance between fast action and having a strategy to your approach and taking time to realize what it is that you want. So maybe it is working towards a goal. Maybe it's whatever's on your heart that you want to go achieve and do. I don't want you to sit in that and not do anything. I don't want you to think that you have to wait till you know exactly what that would look like or how to take that action, because that day may never come. You may never have that opportunity to remodel your house figuratively or actually. So what can you do in the meantime?
Welcome to Mama Has Goals, your weekly reminder that you shouldn't have to sacrifice your dreams to take on the role of mom. I'm Kelsey Smith, mom of 2 boys, wife, and entrepreneur who's passionate about helping other moms, current and aspiring, to reimagine mom life. I'm bringing you the resources, support, and relatability to debunk that limiting belief that you may have about your ability to achieve your goals while raising a human. We're covering everything from mom guilt, marriage, relationships, careers, finances, mental health, physical health, you name it. Your life doesn't have to fully shift once you become a mom. You can have it all, and we'll show you how.
Talking to a family member recently, and they just bought a house and they were doing all this remodeling before they moved in. And my husband and I were just sharing our story of we bought a home that we know we want to completely remodel one day. But throughout the years, we've done what I call Band-Aid fixes. We've done something here to make it a little bit better, but we know that it's maybe not the end all be all. We were sharing with them that even if we had the money and time to redo everything right at the beginning, we actually haven't recommended that to others because since we've been in our house, we've changed our mind. And whether it's in a house remodeling journey or it's in your job, your life, anything, we so often change our mind. And when I finished this conversation with this family member, it made me think about how that does show up in all these different areas. And I wish that I could tell everyone to just live in their house for a little bit, whether that is a real house or whatever else it is that you're in, but to give yourself time to change your mind, to want to remodel it differently, to do something new. Because when we first came into our home, what I thought I wanted is something so different than what we would do now. And sure, there's some things that are the same, but because I've allowed myself to change my mind, I've allowed myself to live in it and take time to make that decision, I've been able to look at things differently. And this is just something that I think we need to apply into more areas of our life. So I want to encourage you to think about what is something that you're thinking that you need to do when really you need to just live in your house for a little bit. And it doesn't mean not to take quick, messy action, because I'm a huge advocate for that. Because sometimes we don't need to know the final plan to be able to take action, but we don't need to also sometimes go all the way to what we think the end result is when we're not even sure if that's what we want, because we haven't given ourselves time to figure it out. We haven't given ourselves time to live in the house and decide, is that really going to be the best choice and the best option? So I think this is a really fine balance, and you have to find really what the balance looks like. But when it comes to maybe being in a job and you get into the job and maybe it feels amazing right off the bat and you're like, I'm going to be here for 10 years. It could be that. And you need to live in it for a little bit. You need to see if it's a good fit. And of course, you're not just going to leave because maybe one thing goes wrong, but you're going to consider, okay, if I maybe don't want this, what's the different result look like? Maybe I don't want to put that wall there, or I don't want to remodel it in that way. And I'm not sure what it looks like. I don't have to make a decision. There is this really fine balance between fast action and having a strategy to your approach and taking time to realize what it is that you want. So maybe it is working towards a goal. Maybe it's whatever's on your heart that you want to go achieve and do. I don't want you to sit in that and not do anything. I don't want you to think that you have to wait till you know exactly what that would look like or how to take that action, because that day may never come. You may never have that opportunity to remodel your house figuratively or actually. So what can you do in the meantime? Or on the flip side of that, you don't need to remodel your whole house right now when maybe you just need to think about, is that really what you want to do? If you give yourself time to digest it, live in it, and think about it, maybe you'll realize that you wanted something different all along. And even though you thought you wanted beige walls, you actually want white. Or maybe even though you thought you wanted your kitchen to look that way, you actually haven't found the perfect option yet, and then you do. There isn't a right answer. Like I've said, it's this really fine balance. But you have to give yourself permission to do both. What Band-Aid fixes or small steps or movement can you take right now, even if it's not remodeling the whole house? And when you do come to remodel the house, can you think about the steps that you've taken? Can you think about how you can take fast action before you get there? And give yourself permission to change your mind. So often I see that people state that they want to go do something. Maybe this is going back to school. And then you realize, I really don't want to go back to school. Maybe it's going and pursuing a certain job or career, and you realize, I really don't want to go back to work. I want to stay home. Or I want to do this instead. Maybe you did start a business and it didn't work out the way you thought it was going to. And now you're like, I wish I never started it. Well, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have never started it, but maybe your remodel is going to look a little different. And how can you push on top of what you've already created to get that? So when we go into remodeling our house right now and we make changes all the time and try to make little updates, we try to do it in a way that is going to get us a better result right now, knowing that we might rip it out later. And this is how I show up in my business too. What is something that I can take action on, knowing it might look different later down the road? What is something that you can take action on, knowing you might not keep it that way? And what are you okay with ripping out, and what are you not wanting to? Maybe it's really easy to paint over a wall. Maybe it's not so easy to move that wall again. Maybe it's really easy to change up the hardware on your sink or your cabinets. Maybe it's not so easy to put in brand new countertops or brand new floors again. So what decisions can you make now, even though you don't know what it's going to look like later? And where can you be okay with changing your mind? Where can you be okay with not finishing what you started? Maybe you're not meant to finish school. Maybe you're not meant to finish that business or get it to what you thought was success. Maybe you're meant to switch it. Maybe you're not meant to stay in that job or that career path. Maybe you're not meant to stay as a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you are. So how can you live in your house for a little bit while taking baby steps along the way and be okay with changing your mind? Don't go all in on something that maybe doesn't make sense, but allow yourselves to take messy small action. Put a Band-Aid fix together. Move forward and live in it for a little bit and try that version out. See how that feels. I'm sending you so much love, Mom. I cannot wait to hear how living in your next step works and what little Band-Aid fix you do first.
There's so much more where this came from. Take the next step and download the Mama Has Goals app or visit our web platform. Real, authentic, full, supportive community is available at your fingertips, and we can't wait to create space for you, Mama.